All right, so in today's lesson, we're looking at the lungs and breathing. And what I want to do is just let me share the screen with you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. As much as it looks like there's a lot of work on, we've looked at different ways of learning content. And you're going to make a decision. This is going to be down to you. But I'm going to go over the card cover again. And I'm going to go through the content as well. I'll zoom in. This is the content you need to learn, right? And as I've said, it's all about what works for you. That's a very mature, grown-up way of looking at learning because it reduces time. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. This is the nasal cavity. I like that. In your nose, I like words like that. I like the fact that the mouth is called the buccal cavity, and I like certain words. So you got the nasal cavity. The windpipe, I will let you get away with sometimes, but I prefer the term trachea. That's a bit of a personal one for me as well. It was one of the first words that I learned that was scientific. You have your lungs themselves, and you can look, if you look very closely, you have from your trachea is coming down here, and these big tubes here at the bottom are called the bronchus. If there's more than one, if you're talking about both of them, it's like hippopotamus, bronchus. More than one hippopotamus, hippopotami. Bronchus, more than one bronchus, bronchi. And they then break down into smaller ones, bronchioles. So you go trachea, so the air would go, actually, let's do it from the beginning. Nasal cavity, up your nasal cavity, down your trachea, into your bronchus, then into your bronchiole, and then into your alveoli. All right. So parts of how you breathe, and your lungs don't actually move. They're, for want of a better word, stuck to your ribs by something called the pleural cavity. It's just a tiny gap between your ribs, your intercostal muscles, and your lungs. And we call it pleural cavity. And it's just filled with liquid. So between your bones of your ribs, so these are your ribs, there's it's labeled, you've got these intercostal muscles. These muscles allow you to shrink your chest down. So when you breathe out, your body just crunches in. And the diaphragm is this funny looking large muscle underneath that gives you hiccups. So these are structures you need to know, and there's a lot of it. And here is all the information I've really talked about. Now, the ribs have two functions. One is to move in and out to help you breathe, but also to protect your lungs and your heart from physical damage. I've talked about all this. The other thing I haven't talked about are the alveoli. Now, right at the end of your bronchioles are alveoli, and what they are sacs. And would break down to these really small alveoli because it increases, and this is a really important idea in biology, it increases surface area. The more surface area, the faster the rate of diffusion of oxygen and carbon dioxide. But they're really small air sacs surrounded by capillaries. They're surrounded by capillaries. So there's all this content. So what I did was I thought, do you know, I've talked about different ways of learning from mind maps to flashcards, and I've created all these. This is a mind map that I've created. I don't like that bronchiole thing there. I try to do it programmatically. It saves time. So these are mind maps. This is what I really enjoyed using during my A levels. I didn't know about these things at GCSE, and the reason I like mind maps, I'll show you these first. The main section is the respiratory system. And this tells me the way that the air flows. It says here, air pathway. You've got the trachea. Actually, do you know what? I might shove in nasal cavity there. I don't know. I like it. I like it. Trachea, bronchus, plural if you talk about both, from bronchi to your bronchioles and then to your alveoli. And what I used to do was, I wouldn't look at it, all right? I wouldn't look at my mind map, and I would try to draw it again and then check back if I'd made any mistakes. Now, the card cover works like this. So here is everything you need to know, all right? And this is in terms of content. Your sequence of where you need to go down is here. So this is where the air goes: trachea, bronchus, bronchioles, and alveoli. It's in order. And these are the structures you need to know: your ribs, your intercostal muscles, and your diaphragm. And what you do is, that's not full of anything, so let's fill it with, yeah, that. So the way the card cover works, like I said last time, is you sit back, you read it for about a couple of minutes, and you think, right, I think I know it now. And you'll also notice that I've taken all that information from these notes, which are relatively short, and made them even shorter. The point is, be fast and do not read too much. Get the key points down. Okay. So, control inhalation and exhalation. Yeah, fair enough, but it's a bit complicated. Control breathing in dash out. So I don't want to use inhalation, exhalation. It's just made it more complicated. Muscle at the, I like the thorax, but no, bottom of the ribs. Okay. And so you go through that and you read it, and you think, right, I know it. And then you do your card cover. So you've got this choice now. Do you want to do a card cover? It's all set up. Do you want to do a mind map and try to regurgitate, retrieve your mind map from your brain? Is that what you want to do? Or do you want to do a flashcard? And these are flashcards. I can't really create them in terms of make them flip. So I've created a content for the flashcards. So now you've got three choices. And as I said to you, card covers we didn't really know about card covers. I only learned them about 10 years in teaching. So for me, it was mind maps, not flashcards. And you've got to make that decision. Which one works for you? And I've always said that, and I think this is really important, and this is something that I expect from A-level students. I don't expect from GCSE students, but I'm teaching it, and I thought, you know what, why not? Why not help you find what really works for you? And like this, what you can do in an hour will take a lot of students 6 hours to do, and it makes it really powerful. Once you've done that, you've got two sets of questions, all right? One is multiple choice. Let me get that, multiple choice. And the other questions, I'm just going to zoom in so you can see them. So the multiple choices are interesting, okay? It just doesn't require you really write too much. It's just, yeah, let's see what you know. And then you have the short answer ones. So I do want you to pick your type of learning, make it, for you. I'm going to click here. Once you've done that, you go on to easy questions. Once you've done the easy questions, you go on to the hard questions. All right. Now, yeah, and that's it. That's today's work. I've got some, oh my God, that's really upsetting kind of questions, but let's see if we get that far. All right, I'm going to stop the recording. Oh, look at me, bang on 9 minutes.